the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! Alright, and welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I am Isaac, and with me as always is my fearless co-host Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
Pup Star.
Pup Star?
That's the answer.
That's not an adjective.
Well, I mean, my hope is that by the time this episode is over, it will be.
Can you define it in the Oxford English Dictionary after the new usage is established?
Pup Star, noun, the space between my fist and Isaac's nose. I don't know, man. I have had, you have seen on camera every sip of coffee I've had this morning, and I'm waking up to talk about fucking Pup Star.
Man, what a life.
It's fucking
two famous
podcasters
just talking about great movies.
Two famous podcasters, yeah. No, this is horrible, and I hate it. It took me 2 weeks. I did this review 1.5 times. It's so bad. It's no better. I should have just did it last week. It's no better.
You can only do so much with a
you can
Pup
only
Star
polish
Airbud
the
movie.
turds so hard. Oh.
I'm tickled pink.
Just like Kevin Smith.
Yep, I forget why he was tickled pink.
You said the phrase tickled pink, and ever since you said Kevin Smith was tickled pink in Tusk, okay. I think, or the one with the Bratzies, Yoga Hosers. In one of those, you called Kevin Smith tickled pink, and for some reason I pictured like a child or a man, I don't know, lifting up his hockey jersey that he always wears and just tickling him on his belly. And ever since, when I hear the words tickled pink, I think of someone tickling Kevin Smith while he like rolls on the floor laughing.
I'm gonna take it one step further. They lift up his hockey jersey, start tickling his big old belly, and then he slowly turns into a half man, half pig, while all his clothes disappear except his stupid backwards hat.
That is deeply upsetting.
He's probably going to put that in his next movie.
Oh, God. Yeah, Moose Jaws. Can't wait for you to watch that one.
Jay and Silent Pig. He'll just be like mouthing oinks and nothing comes out. Oh, man.
I have no mouth, but I must oink.
Mouthing oinks. That's a punk band name if I ever heard one.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think they play tonight at the Apollo.
Definitely. All right. We are the Bowels of Netflix.
Oh, man.
If you're new to
the
this
weakest
show,
opening ever.
No, you got that image of Kevin Smith in your head. It's never.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it.
For two old friends, we make each other watch terrible movies, and we give you the hot take on it. Yeah. So find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. Do all the good podcast fan things, like, subscribe, set to download, tell your friends, tell your grandmother to get off her fucking chair and listen to this podcast while she drafts her will and leaves everything to the Bowels of Netflix.
That'd actually be awesome, yeah.
I think that's how, what is it, Jonestown started. Just getting a bunch of old people to, like, leave their money to the cult.
I thought you were going to say Joe Rogan.
I'm sure he has a death cult coming. It's brewing.
You're absolutely right. Jonestown absolutely started with old people leaving them their money.
We need to start a cult.
I mean, I've often said I would be a great cult number 2. I cannot lead a cult. I'm not charismatic enough, and I hate myself too much. You have to love yourself above all else to be a leader of a cult.
Well, I might be out then.
I have a few candidates in mind who we could be goons for.
All right. So, Larry, Pup Star.
No.
People don't
know I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do it.
Too bad. You're legally
We're
obligated.
reviewing Puczynski again.
You signed a contract in blood.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we mashed your dick with a mallet until it was blood coming out, and you used it to sign like a pen.
I don't like imagining that image, so I'm just going to sit silently until it passes.
It's going to be an imagery-laden podcast.
Oh,
I already
good.
got 2 horrible ones in, and we're 5 minutes in.
Great. Fuck. Isaac, I don't want to do this.
You're legally obligated.
I mean, how legally?
If you bail out, I believe the contract stipulates that I can just fill your scrotum with push pins.
Oh god. Okay, you need to be stopped. Clearly, all right. Fucking Pup Star 2. Great. You've found a way to motivate me with horrible imagery. Thank you.
I got 3 in so far.
Pup Star.
I'm on a roll.
2 better together with the number 2.
That's adorable.
All dogs go to heaven. All beards rot in hell. So, oh man, I mean, yeah, for those of you who, I think you started to say this, for those of you who aren't aware, if this is your first episode, oh boy, I'm so sorry for the Kevin Smith thing and all the awful genital torture. Famously, what I way back in episode 17, Isaac, do you know off the top of your head what episode number this is?
89.
89. Wow, Jesus Christ.
I know. We're almost committed.
Oh, God, we almost did 45 episodes, 45 bad movies each. Christ. Yeah, 44. You did 44 in one great movie.
I'll fucking slap you.
Episode 17, I reviewed Pup Star 3, which was Pup Star: World Tour. And apparently that is as of the recording of this episode, that is our most listened to episode.
By far. By a magnitude of 2.
So, I guess, fuck y'all. Thank you for not making that just a flop in which we wouldn't have to do this again. But here we are.
Back in the Airbud universe.
Another Robert Vince production. We've dabbled in the Airbud. Well, let me amend that. I've dabbled in the Airbud universe several times. We had Russell Madness, Pup Star 3, and then we did our little side episode, which still is a blast, of Spaghetti Decoco.
Hey, Robert Vaughn. Hello, this is Spaghetti here.
It's Robert Vince, you fucking cuss.
Whatever, I don't remember words or know how to use words. I just call in because I've been spitting buddy cum into a bunch of dog pussies, and I ain't got no progeny, and I'm running out of cum, and boy, is it starting to taste mildewy. Can I have my royalty money?
Spaghetti, we're big fans. We'd love to have you on the show. But yeah, so what a commercial for that episode. Jesus Christ. You are just on point with your horrible point with your imagery today.
Yeah, I got 4 now. Yeah, spitting mildewy dog cum.
Okay, all right, I got it. Thank you. Jesus Christ. So yeah, this is yet another foray into the prequel of Pup Star World Tour, which we'll get to a little bit. But so Rotten Tomatoes, there's no tomato meter. Thank you, Jesus, Allah, Muhammad, all of you. Thank you for that.
Or any of them telling you to blow anything up?
Not yet. That's definitely just me.
Netflix, Twitter.
Isaac, fun fun fact for you, Isaac. One of the related movies in Rotten Tomatoes is Liar, Liar, Vampire, a movie you just pointed out to me on Netflix.
Oh my god, is that in the universe?
No, I don't think so.
There's probably like an actor who.
There's no animals. It's not like there's a dog vampire. Although that sounds marginally better than this.
Yeah, I kind of want to see a dog vampire movie now.
But anyway, so no tomato meter for Pup Star Better Together, and it's a 20% audience score.
That's pretty bad.
That's accurate. That's what it should be. IMDb. This has a 4.6 out of 10, which is also accurate. Now, I did forget I lost all my links because I do pull these links up, and then somewhere in the week, my shitty old laptop restarts, and I lose them all and forget that I needed to have them up. But
after all the BBW amputee porn you watch.
Yeah, you know me. I'm incorrigible. Pup. Now, I don't remember. I don't remember what it was when we first did it, or if we even were looking at IMDb at that point. But currently, Pup Star World Tour has a 4.3 on IMDb.
That's pretty low.
Pup Star 2, Pup Star Better Together, To Get Her. Hey, that's funny, because it's a movie about getting her. Has a 4.6. So, 0.3% better.
Oh, this should be a blast.
No, Isaac, no. It's not a blast. But yeah, and there is no, believe it or not, there's no Wikipedia article. There wasn't on the other Pup Star either. There isn't on any of those. That's
kind of surprising.
They're just no, it's not. They're just tacked on to the Airbud movie universe Wikipedia page. They're just mentioned, there's a series of Pup Star movies, and here's what they're called. What do you say about it? I even looked on the Airbud Wikipedia. which had basically just the blurb of the movie. Like it didn't. What was it called? I'm sorry. I went onto the Pup Star wiki, which is a thing I don't believe existed the first time I did this. But there's a whole wiki with 113 pages.
Jesus.
I was gonna. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh God.
There's some dedicated fan out there.
Oh God. I'm reading the fucking articles. Oh God.
And now Google knows.
Oh no.
Google knows you're a 30-year-old man who's reading the Pup Star wiki.
Oh boy. I didn't know this existed.
Your targeted advertisements are going to change, my friend.
This definitely did not exist the first time I did for the last episode, because there's no way. So the main character of Pup Star is a dog called Tiny, which fucking kill me. 21 comments on this article.
Oh God.
Well, this is okay. What? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm like. This is a terrible realization. Oh my God, this is horrible. Who are these people?
Well, they're better than human traffickers. We can say that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I need to sit down.
Larry is flummoxed.
Okay. I'm sorry, this
audience.
is horrible radio. I'm just realizing there's... Oh, God. So the next time I have to do a Pup Star movie, I'm going to have a great resource for it. Oh, God.
Oh, he just threw up.
Ah, God. Okay, did not know the Pup Star Wiki was a thing. I swear to Jesus Christ almighty, it was not before. So that's a thing that I'll need for the next time I do one of these, which is hopefully in a year. But yeah, I wanted to read 2 quick Google reviews. The opposite sides of the spectrum, as it were.
Oh,
there's only 17, and only one of them is bad. So 6 months ago... wow, actually, hold on. So Pup Star 2... is from 2017.
Sorry, Pup Star better together, Larry, please?
Eat your own ass.
I want to maintain a certain level of accuracy.
Eat your own ass and die. 6 months ago, RC Daisy Dog with some kind of emoji behind it, but it's so small I can't tell what it is. 5-star review. LOL, am literally watching this right now for the 5th time. Please watch this. This is so cute, funny, and if you like/love animals or dogs, you should watch this. Also, it good for a family night. And then the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Anna Beam from a week ago. So, Anna, right there with you.
Take.
1 star. It makes me want to kill myself. Every time it's on, I hope it has a fiery death. The first one was horrible, but the second one, it makes the B movie look award-winning. That should say enough in itself. I would recommend bringing bull tranquilizers. Big space between those two for some reason.
All right.
I hope anyone who watches this movie can find immediate psychological help. Anna, I feel you.
Jeez. Now, do you think the first one was written by like a 9-year-old girl or another aging flabby millennial like ourselves?
I think they're all aging flabby millennials.
Yeah, that's most comments on the internet.
I feel like the people who would be watching these movies, like legitimately, okay, the people who are watching these movies, there's certainly children, but they're going to be too young to care about internet reviews. So
there's some nerdy 9-year-old girl who's really loved this and was like, "Oh, I want to write a review on Google."
Do you really think that?
There's one.
Okay, you're right. But the most people who are doing this are like, adults of some manner or another, like some level of older. I think.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We should respond. We should respond or comment on those comments.
I have it's rare that the review hasn't even started and I've already run out of steam.
Can you reply to that the positive comment and just say, "Are you a little girl?" with 4 question marks?
Isaac, no, I prefer to remain in the land of the not jailed. Because that is the fast track to prison, and not dog prison like in Pup Star 3. Human prison, which is horrible.
Less kibble.
I think there's actually more kibble.
That might be true.
All right, so...
Oh, God, modern slavery still exists. It's called the U.S. penal system.
We're 17 minutes in, and I have wasted a lot of time staring in abject horror and fascination at the Pup Star Wiki. So, let's not delay the inevitable anymore. So, now, folks... I'd like to live in a world where each Bowles episode is self-contained and you can pop in and listen to our madness and miss a reference here or there, but, overall you don't lose anything in the entire... what am I doing? I'm doing something with my hands. I was like, what am I trying to indicate here?
Massaging breasts.
You don't lose anything in the whole massaging breasts. In the whole, package. You don't,
The Bowles universe.
I want each episode to be more or less self-contained. But the problem is, in this case, I will actually go insane if I have to restart and explain the entire Pup Star universe again. It's impossible. I will give a refresher of everything and the characters and whatnot, but I'm warning you right now, I am going to talk a lot about Pup Star World Tour, which is episode 17, if you want to go back and listen to it before you listen to it. Ironically enough, this is the sequel to Pup Star 3 World Tour 3 World Star Hip Hop. The God's honest truth is I'm already, I can't, the words are crawling around the screen like ants.
Yeah, you did too much cocaine this morning, Larry.
We've dipped into the Pup Star universe before a little bit, and I'm not going to restart from scratch. We know some things about this, and I'll remind you when it's necessary. But now, again, we reviewed the sequel before, so we know a lot of the things that are going to happen by the end of this movie. We, the audience, who certainly has the same level of knowledge about Pup Star that I do, because you're clearly as insane as I am. By the time Isaac has made me watch all 4 movies currently in this fucking series, I'm going to be the foremost expert on Pup Star.
Yeah, you can be an admin on the wiki.
Oh, God, I could be.
Wonder what the pay is for that.
No, $0. $0.00. Your dignity. You have to pay your dignity to work there. So, yeah, to start off a bit, we're going to do a little recap of Pup Star World Tour, the sequel to today's movie. So in the Pup Star universe, dogs were once normal dogs as they are here in our reality. At some indeterminate point in time, dogs evolved the ability to speak the human language and evolved equivalent human intelligence. This evolution may or may not have been fostered and encouraged by humanity via the use of special dog treats, or simply may have happened. I truly do not know, and refuse to watch a single second further of the first movie to find out. So after dogs evolved, the world became entirely fixated on one singular television program above any other concerns, including war. Which if you know anything about humanity, that's ridiculous. And that program was called Pup Star, which is a cross between American Idol and The Voice, which starred exclusively dogs. That is all the world-building background that you need. And this is not a joke.
Do dogs speak all languages or just English?
We only ever hear English and Spanish. Although we only hear Spanish in the sequel to the today's feature. We only hear English on Pup Star 2, Better 2 Get.
I'm intrigued.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're right, I'm not.
So yeah, that is the world building, is the entire dogs sing and speak and do reality shows, and the world is entirely fixated on Pup Star.
That sounds like a better timeline than the one we're currently in.
Honestly, they seem pretty happy. There's only 2 villains in the whole world. In the third movie, our series star Tiny is the star of this entire series, has been the Pup Star champion now for some time and has retired to become a judge of the competition. She lives with a human family for some reason that is never explained in my memory. Tiny is like a Yorkshire Terrier, I believe. She's dating a larger white shaggy dog named P.U.P. and has an identical sister named Scrappy. The plot of Pup Star 3 is that her old nemesis Bark, yes, the villain's name is Bark, and his cronies hatch a plan while in dog prison in order to retake the reins as the head of Pup Star. Bark is in jail for crimes against reality show, awaiting his execution by hanging, using a selfish and greedy Spanish soap opera star dog named Julio as a proxy. Bark inserts Julio into Tiny's life to disrupt her relationship and quietly steal Pup Star away from her, using an incredibly convoluted plan that is literally defeated by a little girl who happens to be walking through a hallway at the right time. So that is what we have to look forward to. By the end of today's movie. Did that recap bring back any memories of me talking about this movie, Isaac?
I've reminded a little more of the prison sequences, but to be fair, I blocked most of it out.
Oh, good. How nice for you. That sounds lovely. So we have that to look forward to at the end of today's tale. So what you're about to hear are the humble beginnings, and you're also going to hear a man die live. So look forward to that. All right. Oh, God. All right, so we jump right in on the action here as Pup Star Better 2 Gether opens up with a Tiny music video. Again, please recall that the main character is named Tiny because God is dead and Robert Vince killed him. Quick refresher, also in the Airbud universe, Robert Vince has written literally all of them. He may have produced one or two and not written them, but he has been involved in every single Airbud universe movie. And he wrote these, all the Pup Stars. They're his babies.
And sitting on a yacht getting blown by models.
Yeah, Isaac's headcanon has him living a far more glamorous life than he definitely...
I'm sure he's very wealthy.
I've said it before, and I'm still going to say it. Besides, like, the CEO, he's the wealthiest man. So... yeah, the main character, Tiny, is performing in a music video. The song is called Is This For Real? And it sucks dick. As always, the dog choreography here is on point, and the dog acting is as tight as ever. Isaac loves tight dogs, so this is right up his alley. Over the music video, we get a bunch of dog tweets and Instagram posts, which are, of course, impossible as dogs lack thumbs. The music video is lame as hell 90s kid movie junk, even though this is from 2017. She's on a rocket ship in an astronaut outfit at one point, spinning on a giant record, the cover of magazines, etc. Isaac, I have a slight obsession in movies. Whenever they show magazines or newspapers or whatnot, I must always figure out what the fuck the little background text says.
Oh, you're such a dork.
This is not a bowels thing. I have been doing this since I was 9 years old, pausing VHS tapes at the exact moment to catch little details. There's an episode.
I would just pause and look at Kate Winslet's titties.
There's an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Joey Wheeler meets a lawyer who's a member of one of the Big Five, and before they duel, the lawyer gives him his card, and Joey smacks the card out of his hand towards the camera, and there's exactly one frame where it is directly in front of the camera, and I spent 20 minutes pausing it to see exactly on that frame, and there was nothing written on the card. It was just gibberish, and I was very upset.
And that's where your life took a downward turn.
I mean, I think that's just the solidification of that I'm a terrible person and don't deserve to be happy. But yet, no, so this every time in movies that I can help it, where there is like some kind of like, oh, they're showing me a paper and the only thing that matters is the headline, I will always pause it and read the rest of it, because usually that's where people like me would put in something funny. You know, it'll be like, for example, I'm watching, this did not happen, but if I was the set director on this show, I'm watching Battlestar Galactica, and there's a lot of times where, like, the people be looking at military papers and stuff, and it'll be like, oh, the headline of this paper that we're supposed to get is, he's looking at, Kara Thrace, disciplinary report. And then, you know, that'll be the headline. They'll show that for a second, and then I'll pause it to try and read the rest of it to see, because if I was in there, I'd be like, you know, my wife is a bitch. It's just something like that, something ridiculous I would put in there, because I look for those people in life because I'm very terribly alone, and I need someone who thinks like me to exist so that I don't think I'm so alone. Jesus. So anyway, I've been doing this forever. I don't know why I told you that long, ridiculous story for a Pup Star 5 seconds of content. So after going back and hearing the same 2 lines of this song Tiny is singing many times, I finally paused on the full cutout of the page of the magazine they show while they're showing all the Tiny merch, and it flips to the cover to show that she's on the cover of fucking Rolling Bone or whatever. And like they show a couple pages, and I paused on one. There's one on screen for about a quarter of a second. And I did a cursory search of the article in question online by searching through some of the lines that were there, but I fortunately could not find it. I did read as much of it as I could, however, and it appears to be someone's emotional story of dealing with cancer and cancer surgery, as well as tips on how to handle life if you're dealing with unexpected cancer diagnosis. So real nice, Bob Vince.
Jesus.
In my head, he just stole that magazine from his doctor's office and threw it at his interns who slapped together a
Easter eggs are supposed to be fun, not remind you of cancer is around the corner for us all.
Yeah, it was just like a whole, because it's a whole page. You can read every word. And God, it's just about cancer and how this person was dealing with their cancer and like talking to their family. Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
I wonder if anyone else but me has ever done that for this movie.
Hopefully that 9-year-old girl who really liked it.
I looked up a couple of the lines verbatim to see if I could find this article online, but I couldn't find it because it's probably from a doctor's office and an article that was in a magazine in 2012. So who knows? God. Yeah. So
wasn't expecting that.
I have brain problems, Isaac.
Yes, it's documented.
I tried the same tactic for the other 2 magazine pages they show, but they have a smaller window of time, and I couldn't get it in time, unfortunately. I think I saw all I need to see. The magazines, by the way, are things called Rolling Bone, Holly Wolf Reporter, etc., all sorts of dog puns.
Very clever.
No, what? Say that again.
Very clever.
Shut the fuck up, you idiot. You idiot, dumb idiot man. At one point, Tiny is floating down a red carpet on a magic carpet while her flamboyantly dressed, stereotypically gay manager Shep dances ridiculously behind her. We'll talk about him a little bit later. You don't remember Shep?
No, I don't remember anything from Pup Star.
Well, Isaac, I do.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do, Larry.
You may remember him from movie 3, but apparently Isaac doesn't. The long and short of this is that Tiny is a big deal, and also the dog actress is a very good girl.
Aww.
So we cut to, again, something Bowser's superfans may remember. The set of the Jimmy Kibble Show. Isaac, I want to die.
These puns are gold, Larry.
This movie is entirely puns. This whole series is entirely dog. You would probably love it.
Robert Vince on his yacht getting blown by models, just like looking down, like he's got a notepad next to him, and he just says, "You with my dick in the mouth, give me a dog pun."
So not only in your head is he on a yacht being blown by models, but he's also stealing their puns.
Yeah.
He's not even clever enough to come up with his own puns.
No, why would you? And you can just pay people to do it and suck your dick at the same time.
I mean, you know, if I had the money, I suppose I'd rather do that. I guess. Oh, God. All right. So, yeah, Jimmy Kibble is a golden retriever wearing a suit. He is a very good boy. Apparently, they were showing this music video as part of the talk show. The actor doing the Jimmy Kibble's lines is a lame kids actor, and I hate him and hope he never gets work in this town again. At home, we see Tiny's human family, her human family, watching the show on TV. The human family consists of human dad, their human maid, bizarrely not really sure why they have a maid or how they can afford it, and also she's just like a full-fledged member of the family, but why not make her the mom? Or I don't know, it's just so weird to me that the family has a maid, and I don't know why I thought about this so much. Also of note is Tiny's quote-unquote sister, the little human girl who is ostensibly her owner, if we lived in any other universe except the ones where dog didn't have their own agency and free will. Now, I swear to Jesus Christ and Satan lovemaking in the springtime that I must have blocked out her name because her name is Lou. I don't know if that's short for something, but her name is Lou. Names are names are names. My name is Larry Beard, and that's the goofiest fucking name outside of a Japanese role-playing game. But when I hear the name Lou, I just think of a fat cop with a mustache. So do with that information what you like.
I have a wonderful story about the name Lou. So my mom's full name, or first and middle name, is Wendy Lou.
Okay.
And she was born in the 50s, and there was Peter Pan era, so there was a lot of Wendys, and there was a lot of Cindy Lou's and Beth Lou's, I don't know, whatever. So you might think, okay, Wendy Lou, that's just a common first and middle name. No, my grandfather has close friends with the neighborhood butcher and his bookie, who is named Lou, and my mom's middle name is Lou because of him.
Your mom's middle name is named after a bookie.
Yep. He would sneak, and a butcher. He would sneak off I'm gonna go get some pork chops for dinner, and he would secretly because my grandmother loathed gambling, and he would secretly put $20 on the ponies. Hey Lou, give me $20 on blackjack in the fourth.
That is incredible.
A couple of pork chops. Make him a little thinner because my family doesn't need to eat, but I need to gamble. He just got a pack of Camels rolled up in his shirt sleeve.
Wow. That's really awesome.
You know what, Lou? I really like the cut of your jib. I just humped a baby into my old lady.
I just humped a baby into my old lady. Pup Star 2 better together.
I'm gonna immortalize you. I'm gonna carry you into the 21st century, Lou.
Yeah, Lou lives on to this day.
He does. And I'll keep telling the story. And this guy, 1950s butcher bookie, I'll be telling that story until I'm dead.
Honestly, now you're immortalizing him more than ever because people we don't know listen to this.
That's true.
The legend of Lou lives on. A new generation gets to hear about Lou the butcher bookie and how your mother was named after him.
It's a bygone era, too, because now you just go to the Walmart deli and get on DraftKings. Not quite the same. There's no more Lou's in the world.
Yeah, DraftKings is the new Lou, and it's putting Lou's out of business, and it's really just boycott DraftKings. I'm never getting them as a sponsor. Oh, God. So, yeah, but unfortunately, I have a bunch of jokes written about Lou being a cop, so just pretend all my cop jokes are actually Lou the Butcher Book. Because, I don't know, just when I hear the name Lou, and I don't have a problem with... Name is a name, really, truly. I don't care. It's just I hear Lou, and what pops into my head is a very specific image of a large, like, not necessarily fat, but just broad and fills out their frame, man with a mustache, smoking a cigarette, in a trench coat, in a cop car, like, watching a jewelry store waiting for a burglar to come out. Like, that is the exact image in my head.
It's not too far off from a butcher.
I mean, Lou probably held up a jewelry store in his day. So anyway, yeah, the family all
you take bets out on it. I'm gonna robbing a jewelry store. 5-1 odds I make it.
That way, good odds, Lou. Those are great odds. This is the worst, most disorganized episode we've ever had.
The people came for Pup Star, Larry.
We're 34 minutes in, and I've literally talked about 19 seconds of this movie. Stupid, why do you listen to the show? Oh, God. Okay, so, yeah, in the studio, the family all grouses that they miss Tiny. In the studio, Tiny meets Heidi, the head of her fan club. Jimmy Kibble has them play a game of who knows Tiny best, the head of the fan club or Tiny herself. Nobody knows me better than me, so I find this frankly ridiculous, but hey, whatever. The game itself is of no consequence and just about as in-universe nonsense that isn't funny and doesn't matter or whatever. Nope, not gonna vomit. Okay, this was close. I was real close for a second there. Tiny doesn't know anything about her dog family is the takeaway here. We cut to Brooklyn, New York. Tiny is a Yorkshire Terrier, by the way. We cut to Brooklyn, New York, where we see a different Yorkshire Terrier run through a cat-infested alleyway. Now, because I have seen the sequel to this movie, and you, dear listeners, have hopefully listened to it and aren't just hearing me ramble about nothing, we know that this character is Scrappy, who is Tiny's rapping sister dog. Which, guess what? That's the whole twist of this movie. So, thank Isaac for spoiling any sort of drama that you may have cared about when the Pup Star 2 review.
You're welcome.
So, for those of you who haven't listened to the World Tour review, Scrappy is a dog that raps and a dog that scraps. That's really all you need to know. Scrappy goes to a door with a neon sign over it that says Bark Easy instead of Speak Easy. Do you get it, Isaac? Isaac, do you get it?
I think I get it.
I don't think
dogs?
You get it. Yeah. And it's actually a double entendre because the villain's name is Bark, and he owns this bar. The hero's name is Tiny, and the villain's name is Bark.
Bark, like on the outside of a tree?
Yes, that's the things dogs are famous for.
Okay,
is the bark on the outside of trees?
All right, I got it now.
Fucking dunce. Okay, the door is answered by Kano, who we also know from the next movie. Kano is the lead henchman for the main villain, Bark. Kano is some kind of larger terrier of some kind. Again, I did mention this in the last review, fucking 70 episodes ago, but I don't know dog models, okay? I just don't. It's a thing I don't know. I don't know car models, I don't know dog models. It's just information I don't retain. That and birthdays. I don't, like, it goes in when, I could be shown a lineup of dogs, have to do a week-long class and take a test on those dogs, and the second I walk out of that classroom, all that information will be gone. I just can't keep dog models in my head.
I have a running theory that females store dog models much more than males do, probably as a part of socialization, but I really want to make, like, a survey and make 500 people take it and see what the results are.
Well, I mean, if we ever have an audience that we engage with, I mean, that'd be probably a good place to check, I suppose.
That's a good point.
It feels weird to give you actual good advice and not just call you a
quick
fuckboy.
Insult me again. Tell me how bad I am.
You've a sack that won't quit.
Give me more. I'm almost there.
I think that's a compliment.
I'm almost there, Larry. Come on, one more.
Your mother's middle name is Lou.
Oh, man. Oh, that was a lovely nut.
See, I knew you were going to do the nutting bit, so I figured I'd make it to be something horrible. Your mom listens to this, right?
I don't know if she knows how podcasts work.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
This is the worst. This is the worst episode. I'm calling it. I'm Babe Ruth calling my home run. This is the worst episode.
It's a lot easier to call a strikeout than a home run, Larry.
Okay, so yeah, Kano, he's, like I said, he's some kind of larger terrier. He is Bark's, he's the main villain's, like, head goon. And he also wears an eye patch, and this dog is a very good boy. Kano is probably the most entertaining character in the entire series, because he's just sort of the gruff, beleaguered, yet mostly competent henchman. Kano growls that Scrappy is late. Instead, we meet our primary villain, Bark. Bark is a big, floofy dog that looks like some kind of Shiba Inu crossed with something bigger. He wears a leather jacket and makes evil schemes. He is a very, very good boy. And we know from the next...
a good boy?
Isaac, a lot of good boys in this movie. We know from the next movie that he is Tiny's eternal rival, as we know that he was at one point the star of Pup Star and the envy of the dog-singing world. However, apparently in movie 1, he performed some sort of deed that ousted him, and he begins movie 3 in jail, so we know that whatever crime he commits in this movie will land him in the slammer. So I'm assuming that murder. Next to him is his primary human goon, Roland. Roland is characterized as being an idiot and the perpetual reason that all of Bark's schemes fail, except for the fact that they fail because they're more convoluted than fucking any scheme in any movie that's ever been.
You need a scapegoat.
Yeah. Roland is the entirety of Team Rocket rolled into one, except Team Rocket occasionally does something competent. Yes, I know what I just said. So our villains are watching Tiny on Jimmy Kimmel and generally are upset about the state that they are in after whatever misfortune happened to them in movie 1. I am on page 3 of 12.
Good Lord.
I want to die, Isaac. I want to die. We've been recording for 40 minutes. I want to die. Bark apparently owns this club as Kano is giving Scrappy her instructions on when she goes on stage. Currently singing is a cat with a neon blue wig, very poorly singing a pop star song. Isaac, what is this cat's name? Neon blue wig. What's the cat's name?
Neon blue wig. I'm a moron. I'm stupid.
Catty Purry.
Oh, right. She had a neon blue wig phase.
Purry.
That's a double pun. 2 for the price of 1.
2 bullets in my head for the price of 1.
That was a clever girl slobbering on Robert Vince's knob that day.
We're bad people, and I'm sorry.
Well, with clever girl, I'm just picturing a velociraptor blowing him on the yacht.
She is heckled and has a bunch of cat toys and dildos thrown at her. After a nonsense introduction by... What? I don't know why you stopped me. After a nonsense introduction by Roland, who is dressed like a fucking 1940s German man at the Liederkranz for some reason, I don't quite understand, Scrappy comes out on stage to rap. We see in the front row is her crew, all dogs, which I forget the name of the crew that right this second. We do see, among this hard crew of street rapping dogs, is our old pal P.U.P., one of the laziest voice actors in any movie I've had to date. We know by the movie's end that P.U.P. will be gently and tenderly tapping the ass of Tiny as they are a couple by Pup Star 3. Again, folks, I say horrible things to make Isaac make funny sounds. I'm sorry.
Squeak.
Oh, boy, that turns me on and repulses me in equal measure.
Also, I want to make a petition to change the pronunciation of dildo to dildo, so you can be dildo instead of dildon't.
That sounds like what someone would write in the porn version of the Fairly Odd Parents, like Doug Dimmadome. Doug Dildadoo. It is very early, and I have had 1/3 of the amount of coffee I normally do by now. It's not that early. It's almost 11 a.m., but I mean, it's a Sunday, so fucking. So what the... Oh, God, what am I doing? The PUP rap crew includes other dogs, which are conspicuously absent in all of Pup Star 3. So I'm guessing those just got killed and eaten in between the two movies, because Scrappy has a whole crew with her in this whole movie, but, like, only PUP survives to movie 3. So, I couldn't tell you. As such, knowing they have no further importance to the franchise, I will mention them no more. Scrappy gives a shitty rap, which is impressive in only that it contains literally every dog pun possible ever made into one small rap section. She also shows off that besides rapping, she has a good voice for singing. Bark, our villain, at the bar, overhears this and is impressed enough to formulate an evil scheme, which, as you may know, is his specialty. We cut to Shep, Tiny's manager. For some reason, he's dressed like a magician.
Okay.
Shep is... just the most stereotypically gay man ever portrayed. It's gotta be offensive, or at least borderline offensive. Somebody help me out here. I watch this, look at this man, and tell me I'm not crazy. This has to be on purpose, right?
See, I like the gay stereotype so much. It's just fun. I really hope that's not offensive to have characters who are stereotypically gay.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm not saying all gay people act that way, but some do, and it's hilarious. Just, I love the affectation of the voice.
All right.
It's like finding a Scottish accent funny. I don't know. It's just funny to me.
Okay.
I'm not passing judgment on them. It tickles me like Kevin Smith getting turned into a half-man, half-pig.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird to be in Pup Star. Like, I don't feel like Robert Vince is a good custodian of this. You know what I mean?
He's normalizing gay culture. He's on the side of justice.
This is a heel turn if I have ever heard one. I don't know, man. So Shep gets a call from Lou, and Lou wants to know where the bodies are buried, O'Malley, or you're off the force. No, Lou wants to talk to Tiny, but Tiny is busy being a star, which in this universe does not mean groupies and blow. She's like doing dog stuff, which may very well be groupies and blow. I'm not sure. Human Dad reassures Lou that Tiny still loves her and will call her back. Back at the Bark Easy, Bark comes up to Scrappy with his goons in tow. Remember that Bark is wearing a leather jacket and is a very good boy. Bark offers Scrappy a Faustian deal. She will pose as Tiny and become the hit of Pup Star. Then, once she gets to the final round, she has to throw the entire competition so that Bark can weasel his way back in. Somehow. I don't know. It's never really explained. Kano tells Scrappy that all she has to do is butcher the song like she butchers music every night. Kano is a dog. He's wearing an eye patch and what appears to be a badge is a necklace. The badge has a bullet hole in it. Kano is a very good boy.
You like dogs too much.
I like the dog. Like I said, and we'll talk about it a little bit at the end. The dog acting in these movies is fucking so good. It's perfect. That is the one complaint I'll never have. They get the dog acting. Like they're the best trained dogs I've ever seen. It's perfect. It's perfect.
We have lip flaps in this, but they look half decent, right? If memory serves.
There's lip flaps in this, but it's not even half decent. It's perfect. They get it perfectly. Okay. Like they spare no expense, and it looks like the dogs are talking. Like it's perfectly done.
Lip flap technology has come a long way.
Yes, it has.
Thank God. Cancer. I'm glad we put that on the back burner.
Yeah, we get it. We get the things that are important, but it looks great. Like it looks totally natural. I mean, it's dogs talking, so it doesn't look natural, but they do like a top-notch job of making it look as natural as they can.
Larry, you do a little bit of mescaline, it'll look pretty natural when your dog starts talking to you.
I want all the drugs in my veins to make this stop. But yeah, so Kano and Scrappy trade barbs back and forth, and Bark tries to coax her into accepting the deal, as she will be pampered and adored by millions as Tiny is. Please recall that Tiny is the star of a reality show, but somehow is the most famous dog in the world, and can have a chance to live the good life for fucking once. Isaac, this is the princess switch. Isaac, this is the princess switch.
I was wondering when you said she had a sister who looked the same. I almost asked.
I'm going to murder you and eat your firstborn. Scrappy refuses the deal as she has nothing against Tiny, but Bark tells his goons that she'll come crawling back when she has nowhere else to go.
Scrappy sings
crawl? Yes, actually.
I guess they can, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd call it more of a shuffle.
My grandparents had a Westie that occasionally would do like an army crawl, and it was possibly the best thing that any living being has ever done. It was the most adorable thing. This is a little dog doing an army crawl along the carpet. It's incredible. I loved it.
If you put a Westie in a kimono, is it an Eastie?
The sad part is that long period of silence or that joke hang is not going to be translated into the episode.
Right, that's stupid. The truncate silence.
I left him hang for a good 10 seconds, audience, because he deserves it.
I really thought about how to make that joke as unoffensive as possible, and I feel like I did okay.
I just don't know what do you want from me? Okay, what do you want from me when you say that joke?
Approval and praise.
Well, too bad.
How many dogs have you called good boys? I just want once.
Isaac,
once, Larry.
The words good boy are in this review a lot. I hope you're not tired of hearing it.
I want to hear it about me.
You're a middling boy.
Okay.
Listen, you give me, if it's a Westie and a kimono is called an Eastie and you want me to call you a good boy, give me a fucking break. Try harder. Try harder. So, this is the worst episode. I'm so sorry, folks. Scrappy sings herself a lullaby as she goes out to the alley where she lives in a cardboard box that she hung up some lights and posters in an actual pile of trash. The next day, we see that a trash man and a trash dog have arrived to take Scrappy's house away in the garbage. I am ashamed to admit that I recognize the dog trash man, Butch, as one of Bark's background goons with a line or two in the next movie. I need to seek therapy. Also, fun fact I learned... Now, I need to pull it up because I closed the page like an idiot. Fun fact I learned about Butch is that he is played by an actor who was in Seinfeld. I forget his name.
Michael Richards.
No. It's the little person.
Oh, Mickey in the show. I forget his real name.
Yeah, I'm looking for... Danny Woodburn.
He's great.
Yes.
Oh, I love him.
Yes. And it was like, because I saw, while I was looking at I almost said RedTube, Rotten Tomatoes for Pup Star.
You got a RedTube Pup Star and see what comes up.
No, I refuse.
I'll do it.
Please don't. Not on air.
Okay.
Not on air, you won't. I saw Danny Woodburn. I'm like, I know that guy. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, so that's a fun little, I don't know, I guess
I'm glad he's doing voice work. That's good.
Yeah, good for him. I guess he got work in both those movies, and so great for him. Bark orchestrated this to make Scrappy homeless and put her back up against the wall. Back in the lair, idiot human goon Roland is sloppily putting together a dog cage. Scrappy comes in and announces she's had a change of heart. Bark calls for his coiffeur, a large poodle, I think it's a poodle anyway, who is flanked by 2 doofy henchmen. Isaac, if you told me these were the exact same henchmen from Princess Switch 2, I would 100% believe you, because they may as well be. They're even the right genders and basically dressed exactly the same. So, oh my god, this is just Princess Switch 2.
I'm so glad. And now everything's going to get conflated. Oh, this is wonderful.
The fancy French poodle gussies Scrappy up and gives her a makeover to make her more like Tiny. It's a ridiculous montage where she learns how to be Tiny and gets washed and dressed to be like Tiny, while the villains, I wrote villains instead of villains. The villains and stylist guide her through it. Also, apparently the woman I thought was the maid is actually the nanny, so I guess I'm the villain after all. I'm misremembering the third movie, I suppose. Scrappy learns that Tiny has no mom, just like she doesn't, and feels a moment of pity. Back to Tiny. She's in a car with Shep, who is giving her the rundown of her schedule. I caught Robert Vince in a catch-22 here, because one of the fake dog companies they listed was PMZ. Now, in movie 3, there is a company, DMZ, and both of these are an analog for TMZ. And I remember this because we tried to figure out what the hell TMZ even meant, because we did not know. And I distinctly remember saying, as a joke, Dog Mile Zone, in a tone of disbelief. Because TMZ is, I think it's 3 Mile Zone or 30 Mile Zone. It's like the area around LA or Hollywood.
Okay.
TMZ is that fucking shitty show starring Harvey Levin that tries to take upskirts of celebrities, basically, and just puts cameras in celebrities' faces and makes a show out of it. And in movie 3, the analog was DMZ, because I remember saying Dog Mile Zone like an asshole. And in this movie, they call it PMZ, which I guess is Puppy Mile Zone. But Robert Vince, fucking get your shit together. Get your Pup Star Bible, give it to your writers, because I'm sure you didn't do a fucking thing, and then put your name on it. You absolute cuck.
Well, look, okay, in movie 2, it's a new organization, Puppy Mile Zone.
Isaac,
and by
let me
movie
stop
3,
you. Let me stop
it
you.
is grown
let
up,
me stop
and
you.
it is Dog Mile Zone.
I was going to say, if you complete this fucking joke, I'm quitting the podcast, but you talked over me. God damn you.
Not legally binding.
Fuck you, Rob. Get your cannon straight.
By the way, there's no Pup Star porn.
Isaac, thank you. Thank you.
I saved everyone a quick Google.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tiny is despondent, though, as she's thinking about her human sister because she misses her. Our villains roll up in the Roland-mobile. Isaac, this is the greatest movie of all time, because Bark is wearing a toupee to disguise himself, since he's on the run for something for Crimes Against Reality show. His toupee is a single strip of hair, like taped between his ears. And it is the cutest fucking thing I have ever seen in my entire goddamn life. He is a very, very good boy.
You're such a sucker for dogs.
I am a sucker for dogs in clothes. Kano sneaks his way in as a security guard to some red carpet event by telling the other guard he's wanted on the red carpet, which I mention only because the other dog says the words Ozzy Osbark, and the Goo Goo dogs are going to be there. Ozzy Osbark famously bit the head off a yellowfin tuna in this universe.
Really?
Yellowfin tuna.
They don't do that, do they?
Isaac, how many varieties of tuna can you...
Yellowfin?
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, the rest of the villains use this as an excuse to sneak in. On the red carpet, Tiny answers a bunch of questions from reporters, both dog and man. Manager Shep mentions that Tiny has the highest grossing debut album of all time. Wrap your head around that. Suddenly, Roland and Bark arrive pretending to be reporters. In addition to his single strip of toupee hair, Bark is also wearing the front of a tuxedo. Like, if you cut down half a foot of the neckline of a tuxedo and all around the neck, Bark has that on.
What kind of lapels? How formal is it?
It's very formal. I think it's like the ones that point out. Isaac, you need to stop giving movies with dogs and clothes. This movie is garbage fire that eats away at my soul, but every new outfit Bark has on just makes me love him more. So Bark and Roland release a skunk into the crowd, which sprays and causes everyone to flee, except Tiny, who just kind of stands there in the stink like an idiot. Tiny can't see through Roland's cheesy disguise despite having bested him in the movie prior. Roland kidnaps Tiny, and Kano gives Scrappy one last pep talk before they make the princess switch too, even switchier, threatening to dip her in Nevada acid like that shoe from Who Framed Roger Rabbit if Scrappy fucks this up. The humans come back to collect Tiny and Scrappy as Tiny takes her place. So if you loved Princess Switch 2 and trying to figure out which fucking one of the princesses I was talking about, don't worry, it gets worse. Because now it's dogs. Okay? Now it's dogs.
This couldn't be better.
Fuck me. Okay, so Pup Star...
No, thank you, Larry.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you for being honest. Pup Star finally begins in this movie called Pup Star 2. For those of you who don't remember, like I said, Pup Star is a mix between The Voice and American Idol. A bunch of judge dogs watch other dogs sing, and then they vote whether or not they win. That's truly all it is, and the entire world is obsessed with the show. Our 4 judges come out, each performing a song. In case you forgot, we know 3 of these judges from the 3rd movie. One is a poodle named Lady Paw Paw, the princess of Staten Island, who is basically a trashy Jersey Shore type. And as we know, listeners, anyone who currently lives in New Jersey and has stupid hair and chin scruff staring at a computer with Google Hangouts calls on it must be the world's biggest idiot and a suspected pedophile in 4 countries, and their name is Isaac. But I don't know anybody like that, so I don't know. Our second judge is Bob Marley, a Bob Marley ripoff played by Ziggy Marley, who is actually Bob Marley's son. He is a stereotypical Jamaican, which you can tell by his Rasta hat. At least they got the Prince of Rasta music to play an actual Jamaican, so there's that. There's a bunch of smoke behind him when he comes out to sing some reggae music, so I guess he's following in his father's footsteps. Dog Gnarly sings a version of No Doggy, No Cry. He is a very good boy. I don't know what kind of dog it is. One of those little fucking mop dogs. I don't care. The third judge is one that was not in the 3rd movie at all, but I mention him only because I think Tiny kills and eats him to become the replacement judge in Pup Star 3. His name is Big Ears. He's one of those dogs that has the gigantic ears, and he sings a blues song, and that's all I'm going to talk about him anymore. The 4th judge is our old friend Simon Growl, a play on Simon Cowell, the mean judge from American Idol. He's an ugly bulldog, much like Stanley Puchinski. Mercifully, he does not sing, but just insults the audience. And if you heard Pup Star 3, my review of it, you will know that these judges and their families were very integral to the plot. They don't matter this time at all, and thank the fucking Lord for that. They don't. This whole thing was an exercise in pointless. I just could have said the judges, but we know who they are. So I had to tell you, because I'm an insane man, and I'm holding this podcast hostage. I have a gun to the podcast's head, and you're all forced to listen to the stupid things I say. So fuck you, fuck your mother, fuck the horse you rode in on. If I suffer, you suffer, you pukes.
Hey, the horse you rode in on is my mother. Thank you very much.
That's horrible. Your mother was a proud bookie. Scrappy, pretending to be Tiny, gets a pep talk from Shep while the real Tiny is taken to the cage at the villain's hideout and is confronted by Bark and his goons. Bark mocks her, and they have typical kids movie hero and villain banter, and the bad guys leave her trapped in the cage. 1 second after they leave, the cage falls apart immediately because Roland is an incompetent idiot. Back at Pup Star, Scrappy is introduced as Tiny. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing and does a crappy job of mimicking Tiny singing her dumb song from the opening and continues to fuck up the performance. Lots of reused footage here. My only complaint is recycled footage. The actress who is voicing Lady Paw Paw is definitely a different actress, and I wish I didn't know that fact. I wish I didn't remember dog actress voices from movies I haven't watched in basically 2 years. While Scrappy is doing the bit in the music video with the magic carpet, which is just a thing that's never explained. There's just magic, I guess now. There's just fucking magic. We just don't talk about it. She decides to rap out a verse of her own, which confuses the judges who have never heard rap. The dog actress playing Scrappy is a very good girl. The judges aren't thrilled with the performance. Big Ears, the blues dog, says rap and pop don't go together at all. Hey, Bobby Vince, turn on a fucking radio, you war criminal.
Turn on a radio 15 years ago.
The judges give her the business and aren't thrilled, and Scrappy breaks character immediately, but nobody notices, of course. The dad and Officer Lou arrive to support Tiny, but of course Scrappy can't act at all like Tiny, despite the entire montage she received 4 scenes ago, and the entire plot literally hinging on the fact that her acting like Tiny is integral to the whole villain's plan.
Princess Switch, even switchier.
Somehow, the family doesn't notice Kano, the world's only one-eyed dog and villain they have bested at least once before, is standing in the same shot literally 2 feet away from them. Human Dad decides that Tiny is all fucked up from being a star and needs quality time at home to recuperate, taking her off the road for a while. Back at the villain hideout. Isaac, do you have any idea what the plot of this movie is so far?
Princess Switch.
Okay,
that's all I have.
That's all you need.
The dogs got switched. And
the dogs got switched.
And what Bad Bone, Bark is the bad guy?
This is literally the easiest name. It's what do dogs do? Bark, yes.
No,
Bark
it's
is
the outside of trees. Thank you very much. Bad Bone is a much better name. Thank you, Robert Vince. Give me a call. I'll help you out, buddy.
You're going to have to suck his dick, you know.
Yeah. Well, if I get enough of a salary, I'll suck anyone's dick. Anything's dick, let me clarify.
Yeah, me too. Back in the villain...
Do sharks have dicks? I might not suck a shark's dick.
I don't know, and I don't want to find out. And do not Pornhub that.
I'm going to have to Google image search great white shark penis.
Okay, can we
Do you
not
think it has teeth?
Yes, the great white penis has teeth. Anyway, back in my kids' movie. In the villain hideout, Tiny is sad because nobody will ever find her again. She hides in a trunk until Roland comes with a tray of food, then barks a couple of times, which make Roland freak out and drop the tray like he's a Vietnam vet and Charlie is in the trees. Tiny uses this distraction...
I'm so sorry. I know I'm making this episode way too long, but... My history book, Songs of the Patriarchy, the Great White Penis Has Teeth.
Oh. I'm speechless. What?
I'm going to write a history book. Songs of the Patriarchy, the Great White Penis Has Teeth.
I mean, that's a great title. For
Damn straight it is.
An awful piece of literature. You could be the next Robert Vince.
I'm not praising the patriarchy.
Well, yeah, thank God for that.
It's bad. It's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing.
We've ruined the world.
We really have. We're the villains in every story, and rightfully
yes.
so. This, man, audience, if you've gotten this far without turning the episode off, I am so sorry.
We should we should have like a code word that we put in, 20 minutes from now, and they'll get a prize.
Yeah, here's the code word. I'm on page 5 of 12. So yeah, Tiny uses this distraction when Roland is having a freak out to escape because he's the worst goon of all time. He's incapable of capturing a rather slow, no more than 8-pound dog. At one point, he jumps up on a bar to snatch her and is propelled across it as if he was thrown by Hercules right in front of Bark. Bark does nothing to try and capture Tiny because he's too fucking good for that as a leader, though he does wonder how humans got to rule the world. Great question. More comedy, chasing, and destruction, and eventually Tiny manages to escape. Despite being the most famous dog in the fucking world, literally the most famous dog on planet Earth, she has no idea when she'll ever get home. Her face is literally on every fucking billboard, in every shot that they ever show of this city. It's ludicrous. But she's just like, I'll never make it home. She says that literally in front of a billboard of her own face. This is not a joke. While wandering around, she ends up in Cat Alley, which is an alley full of cats, very inventively named. Catty Purry leads these mongrel cats and taunts Tiny, thinking it's her old nemesis Scrappy. A bunch of cats in silly hats and clothes arrive. And they are very good kitties. Tiny is about to get royally fucked up by these cats. Catty Purry demands the locket that Tiny is wearing, but as Tiny is about to be murdered, she runs off with the cats in pursuit. She runs into PUP and the rest of Scrappy's crew, who runs Catty Purry off. The crew apparently is called the Dog Pound Crew. Very clever, Rob. Very clever. The crew think that Tiny is Scrappy, of course. Princess Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch. And since Scrappy's box got absolutely smashed up by the trash man, wink wink, nudge nudge, sex joke, they invite her to stay with them tonight. How you doing, Isaac?
Horny.
I'm tired. And not just like I need to go to sleep tired. Like I'm tired of, I have like a deep, like you know how God was tired after creating the earth? It's that.
Yes, I know that feeling.
My tiredness is bone deep. Meanwhile, back at the Tiny family home, Scrappy has basically 100% given up on even trying to act like Tiny. It's pretty bad. There's some dumb banter here about the nanny, who is a larger woman, being on a fitness kick and calling vegans a cult. Robert Vince eats steaks so raw, they just run a group of live cows past him and he saws off hunks as they run by. In the streets, we see Tiny is singing the same lullaby that Scrappy sang. Obviously, we know the two of them are sisters, but this is the clue for the 5-year-olds in the audience that these two are more than just lookalikes. We also see PUP looking longingly at quote-unquote Scrappy as she sings. Breathe it. Nope, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna throw up.
I believe in you. I believe in you, Larry.
We then pan down to see his red rocket. Anywho, the two of them... The two of them have a little bonding moment about family. Both are sad and have no family, whatever. Back at the tiny home, blah, blah, blah. Scrappy's doing a shit job at fitting in, but nobody seems to notice. It's not her. Over what I think is the Brooklyn Bridge, a bad CGI blimp flies by advertising Pup Star. Inside the dog clubhouse, PUP offers to share his bunk with Tiny as Scrappy. By the way, the dog clubhouse, it's a mix of what a Disney mouse hole looks like and the He-Man Woman Haters Club from Little Rascals. It's like a rundown yet homey little shithole box full of dog stuff. One of the dogs sleeps in an old tire. That's my review. When I was a kid, I sat in a tire and it cut up my leg open really badly, and it's a memory that's stuck with me ever since, and I think I'm kind of afraid of tires. And that's not really a joke. I don't know. I was like 4 years old, but I remember like a lot of blood on my leg. I didn't cut anything important, and there's no scar. But like, it's one of those memories of being a kid that kind of stuck with me. Like, I sat in a tire and cut my leg open, and now I think I'm afraid of tires, like on some kind of deep-seated level.
Yeah, I'm terrified of stepping on broken glass because I had a couple of incidents of getting glass embedded in my feet, and if glass breaks around me, I'm like, oh God, I can never walk barefoot again. If 50 years from now, I will not walk barefoot on this spot on the earth.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't ever want to fuck with tires. I'm always very careful because they might cut me, and I might be 4 years old and cry. Now we get a little back and forth scene here. The two different dogs having to deal with being both rich and poor, respectively. Dogs are very cute, and they are very good boys and girls. The Dog Pound crew comes across a human woman who is tagging graffiti of Scrappy's name. Do humans have any agency whatsoever in these movies? Christ, I feel like some kind of dog racist, but I want the humans to be a little bit better represented here. I mean, they all seem to be totally and completely focused around dogs.
To be fair, I don't think Robert Vince believes most humans have agency.
Yeah, besides himself. Anyway, this lady, we're going to get actually sued by Robert Vince at some point. And you know what? I kind of feel like that's fair. I feel like we've earned it.
Let's put a blanket allegedly. Can we do that?
He's probably fine. I don't like that he screwed Spaghetti out of his... I don't like that he screwed Kevin out of his rightful earnings. And I hold his bad movies against him. Everything else is just allegedly, but, probably allegedly. Alleged. So this lady colors some of Tiny's hair like Scrappy's hair was colored with spray paint somehow. Scrappy eats some wasabi thinking it's ice cream. She describes it as looking bangin', which is something I didn't expect in an Airbud feature, but okay, whatever. We also see Scrappy has the same locket as Tiny. Hint, hint, they're related. Meanwhile, Tiny and PUP do the pasta thing from Lady and the Tramp, basically. The Tiny family is watching Pup Star and some lame rapper is on stage. Scrappy freaks out because those rhymes ain't worth, quote, nope. Those rhymes, quote, ain't worth 50 cents. She also says Snoop Dogg would be ashamed. No pun there, just Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is probably in this world as a dog, and I only wish they would show him. Anyway, then the nanny sprays the whole family with holy water because she thinks that Scrappy is just Tiny, possessed by a demon. Didn't make that part up.
Really?
Nope. Meanwhile, at night, the Dog Pound crew and Tiny go into a 60s disco funk club. So despite the fact that these movies have incredibly well-trained dog actors, in each one so far, they do make time for at least one shitty scene that relies on horribly janky CGI that is just fucking dreadful. And here we get that when Disco Dog does a funky 60s dance with a real human woman instead of a dog. And it's a monstrous CGI pile of junk where a dog is like doing the one disco dance move everybody knows, the finger to the hip, then to the sky.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's just bad CGI. Apparently, Disco Dog is named Shampoo, but I'm going to call him Disco Dog because I need something. And Disco Dog sounds good in my throat. Apparently, Disco Dog was Scrappy's mom's dance partner. Thankfully, drawing on the power of unnecessary exposition, Disco Dog tells Tiny, who's Scrappy, they think it's Scrappy, quote, I know you're not ready to open it yet, but that box your mama left is waiting behind the bar. It's the literal... Can we just stop? Can we start over and I do a different movie?
Nope. Legally obligated.
So we get this shitty line of unnecessary exposition where he tells Tiny, who he thinks is Scrappy, there's a box of your mom's shit behind the bar. And the literal next line is from a heretofore unseen dog villain part of a rap crew called the Uptown Dogs. We just fucking, like, drop of a hat, we just flip to something different now. And it's, so the fucking, the Uptown Dogs are a Pomeranian, a German Shepherd, and some third dog. So we're just going to disregard that fucking wild line of backstory a Disco Dog just dropped on us and move directly on to the next set of villains, huh? Not going to ask any questions about this mystery box, I guess. Am I the only one who cares about the plot?
It's almost, what's the Force Awakens? Like that stupid thing with Rey that never went anywhere.
Yeah, those movies aren't great.
They're not.
So a rap battle ensues betwixt these three random dog villains and the Dog Pound crew. Disco Dog says no fighting and no paw signs. Robert Vince is a crip. The shitty rap battle is entirely dog-based, of course. Tiny is a shitty rapper and can't hang in the rap battle until after a bad verse she suddenly can rap and delivers the finishing blow, and she's the world's best rapper because of course she is. Why wouldn't she pay? They do the dumb thing where everybody suddenly knows the Dog Pound Crew's theme song, and they all start singing it because, of course, I hate movies, I hate this show, I hate you, I hate myself, I want to die. Every day I wake up, I just look in the mirror and think, God, where'd you all go wrong?
It's like so Cindy automatically knowing the choreography at the end of the fucking Cinderella Christmas shit.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
God, I hate when movies do that.
I hate movies. I just don't think I like movies. I don't know why we do this.
There's one good one.
Yeah, Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
The Big Lebowski.
Okay, thank
I
God.
wanted to make sure you were going to say it too.
All right, good. We're on the same page. So fucking everybody celebrates and the Dog Pound crew just like leaves. I don't care. In the street, they're suddenly Roland and Kano roll up in their car and give chase for some reason. They almost kill two humans as they drive just on the sidewalk, like GTA style. They hit a fire hydrant and the chase ends before it even starts. Roland and Kano try to go after the Dog Pound crew on foot and end up in Cat Alley. Kano presses Catty Purry for information, and after some light villain banter, Purry wants equal billing for cats and for cats to be allowed into the barky. Isaac, I think this movie is racist against cats.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can be racist against cats.
I mean, these dogs certainly are.
Speciesist. Gotta get your discrimination right. Come on.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I forgot to consult my white man's book of how to insult people properly, which we all get when we're born. Yeah.
Every white man gets it when they turn 5.
Oh, I got it at birth. So they reused a joke from movie 3 here, where they say, Catty Purry says, "I'm shaking in my paws," which it's a terrible joke, and I remember hating it in movie 3, and they use it here again. So good job, Rob. Eventually all the cats attack Roland because he's just the world's toilet, which is Isaac's dream, to be the world's toilet. We see him run around the corner with his clothes shredded up, holding a very obvious cat puppet with a blue wig stapled to it, as he flings it away in the alley hard enough that a real cat would definitely die if he did that. So, hey kids, don't follow your heroes from Pup Star, like your hero Robert Vince, who sucks the marrow out of pregnant women to stay young and hip. Anyway, Catty Purry gives up where Tiny is hiding and the goons go after her. The Dog Pound crew reveals to quote-unquote Scrappy that they made her a bed in their clubhouse and officially made her part of the Dog Pound crew, which I guess she wasn't before, despite the fact that she has lines in the Dog Pound crew theme song. So I don't quite understand how that works. ? She tries to tell them she isn't Scrappy, but changes her mind and goes to sleep instead. Meanwhile, in the Tiny household, it's her birthday, and Scrappy doesn't know how to act because she's a filthy street dog who never had a birthday before. Eventually, she starts a food fight by jumping into the cake, which I just imagine fucking washing cake out of a Yorkie's fur, which just sounds horrible. That poor... Whoever the hell had to deal with that poor dog covered in cake.
Yeah, you just throw it in the incinerator. Problem solved.
I thought you were going to say washing machine. That's far darker. Far darker. Actually, I don't know which one's darker.
The incinerator's faster. Washing machine would definitely kill it.
I don't want to think about tiny dogs dying, so I'm going to stop this.
By the way, it's 15 newtons of force if you're throwing a cat at a wall to kill it.
Did you just look that up?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not information in your head. Who measured that?
I made that up, you psychopath.
Oh, okay. You've been looking up all kinds of dumb shit, all right? I feel like that's a valid question for me to ask. All right. Meanwhile, back in the street, Roland and Kano find Tiny and the sleeping Dog Pound crew. Roland sets off a string of cans they had set up and get trapped up in them, rolling around in the dirt for 20 goddamn seconds, like he's never had fucking legs before in his life. The Dog Pound crew all escape through the escape hatch in their wooden shipping crate they live in, while setting a booby trap behind them. They also all recognize Roland and Kano as Bark's goons, so I guess the depths of Bark's dog depravity is just a thing known worldwide. Y'all fucking laugh at me, but in universe, Bark is truly the world's worst dog criminal for crimes against reality show, and is known the world over as a villain, so much so that his goons are known as villains.
It's almost like his name should be Bad Bone.
It's like his name should be Bad Bone.
He's bad to the bone.
Thank you for explaining.
You see?
Roland tries to break into the clubhouse, but the trap goes off, which basically just sprays him in the eyeballs with hairspray. And credit where it's due, his moaning and screaming is so realistic, they may have actually blinded the man in order to get that reaction. So I guess kudos to the actor there, because it is like, while he is like acting like he's just been blinded, it is very real sounding.
Funny correlation to real life. My cousin, who works as a vet tech, got hand sanitizer sprayed in her eye last week. She said it was by far the worst pain she has ever experienced. She was just utter crazy agony, and she's been like bitten by dogs and cats and everything before.
Oh god, that sounds really bad.
Yep, and like she had a giant abrasion on her eye. She had to go to an optometrist and get like all kinds of crazy drops and stuff, and her vision's still fucked up. It should heal fine and be okay. But yeah, just be a little careful when you're squirting hand sanitizer.
Fuck, yeah.
Because it was like one of those hand
horrible.
pumps, and like, I don't know if stuff had crusted up, but it just like perfectly hit her in the eye.
Oh.
So hairspray in the eye would be bad.
When COVID was like we were in the middle of the pandemic, when the beginning of the pandemic, I know it's not going away. COVID still exists.
The middle of the pandemic is 10 years from now.
Well, yeah, God. When, like, in the middle of last year, let me say, at my job, we had to use hand sanitizer before going into, like, all the closets we have for and what I do is very boring. But we have a bunch of closets. And the one had a hand sanitizer, like a bottle of cheap hand sanitizer next to it. And that shot, I could shoot a man. I could have fucking shot JFK from the book depository. You press that thing once and it shot across the room. It was insane. So yeah, I can imagine getting that in the eye and it would be horrible.
Sir, you probably putting hand sanitizer in like a super soaker. I don't know if it would actually work, but that would probably be almost as effective as pepper spray and actually damage people more than pepper spray
permanently
does.
Damage people. So yeah, anyway, this, like, Roland getting spritzed in the eyes with 2 cans of hairspray, his acting is distressingly on point, because it's not just like it's like he's like screaming is very realistic.
Maybe he's a method actor like Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like, fuck it, do it live.
Yeah, I like you said Daniel Day-Lewis, but you quoted Bill O'Reilly.
They're the same person in my head.
Did you ever hear Bill O'Reilly freaking out saying, fuck it, we'll do it live, because it's amazing.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, as a reward for Roland's distressingly realistic overacting, he begs for water to clean out his eyes, and Kano pisses directly on his face.
Okay.
Someone watched this movie somewhere, and watching a dog piss on a grown man's face made them come. I'm calling it now.
Pup Star porn? I just gotta look closer.
Thank you. The villains then set the clubhouse on fire. So at this point, they're basically cool with murdering Tiny and the whole crew.
Goddamn.
And this thing goes up like a blazing inferno. The Dog Pound crew is despondent, and Tiny comes clean about who she is. They're immediately upset because she lied, but she says being famous is sad and being famous is hard and makes her sad, and leaves. And they give her after they give her the business for being a fake. As she walks away into NYC crying, we see some people walk by with dogs on leashes. What the fuck is that? If dogs in this world are basically smarter than every human we ever see and have full and complete agency, why are there people walking around with dogs on leashes? Like, what does that, that's the, like, if you walk down the street with a human on a leash, basically.
To be fair, if someone would clean up my shit, I would let them put a leash on me for 15 minutes a day.
We need to start adding these long pauses I give you in, because that is, oh boy, Isaac, that is rough.
Wiping's a chore.
It's rough.
Especially with being a husky boy.
I want to talk about this, but we can't. We can't. I cannot talk about it.
There's no way your wiping life is a breeze.
Yes, it's the thing humans do. Now we're talking about it. Great. Now we're talking about wiping our asses. Are you happy? Great. It's the thing humans do. Get used to it. Get over it. You fucking baby man. Christ. So yeah, the last scene, Tiny, the Dog Pound crew abandoned Tiny because they're like, oh, you're fake, you're not real. And the next scene, the Dog Pound crew comes back and they're like, yeah, you know what, it's cool. We've forgiven you. Let's go now. Let's go save the world.
That's okay.
Yeah. We see Bark is watching Scrappy pretending to be Tiny on the show Car Drool Karaoke. Do you get it? Instead of carpool karaoke, it's car drool karaoke. Do you get it?
Now I get it.
You don't get it. The goons tell Bark they didn't manage to catch Tiny. They failed to mention they tried to kill her, so I guess they know she wasn't in the clubhouse and they burned it to fucking cinders. Bark yells at them for sucking. Tiny sees Scrappy on the show and figures out the entire plot. Anyway, Bark says he's going to go and make sure that Scrappy doesn't forget to throw the finale of Pup Star. The crew tries to leave and makes a racket, so once again Roland and Kano give chase in the car. They go through Cat Alley to get one more use out of that cat-sized Katy Perry wig they made because they had to get that on screen as much as possible. The Dog Pound crew run into the disco club to meet up with Disco Dog again. Roland gets caught up in the disco rhythm and does a silly dance, and Tiny decides to open up the box from Scrappy's mother in case it has a clue inside. A clue to what? A clue to what? Is this part of the elaborate Bark scheme too? What actually could this box have in it to help you solve this current mystery? You're just a nosy bitch.
Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
That really would turn the movie around. Honestly, I'd really turn it around. What's in the box? So yeah, they fucking open up. I guess it would be the correct amount of convoluted for this series if this box did have a clue to the entire scheme in it. So I guess it checks out. Inside the box, Tiny realizes Scrappy is in fact her sister as they share a mother. Disco Dog calls Cano and Roland jive turkeys, which is a phenomenally underused phrase.
Seriously.
Anyway, comedy chase scene here as the unimportant members of the Dog Pound crew distract the goons while Disco Dog, PUP, and Tiny hop into the dumpy van of a man straight out of the 1960s, full afro and all. This guy apparently is named Magic and is pretty much just straight out of what the 1980s, what the 1960s was. There is nonsense banter I need to push past here before my brain tumor finally catches up to me and kills me. Scrappy and Tiny's family arrive at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and get a tour. I'm a dog punned out at this point, so we'll spare you the dog memorabilia we get treated to, but suffice it to say there's a lot of it. Tiny has some weird interaction with two other dogs that she mentioned she has a cold. I'm not sure who these two are, but I feel like we're supposed to know them. Anyway, one of them is a country star Tiny is supposed to sing with, and the other is just like a host and also a country star. Long story short, these three dogs perform a dog-based country rock song on stage at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, while Bark looks on in the audience. After the lame performance, Scrappy goes to Bark and tries to back out of the whole ruse altogether. Bark counters with the fact that none of these nice people Scrappy has met actually love her. They love what she represents. Why did I write 12 pages of review for this movie?
Because you're...
I'm reading this back and just realizing none of this matters and I should fucking have quit long ago.
You're a good man and thorough. Is that the quote?
Yeah, that's the quote. Just watch The Big Lebowski instead of listening to this podcast.
Well, no, listen to the Pupcast.
Nope, not doing it. Not doing it.
Is the country singer Reba Barkentire?
They don't say. They might. I don't think it's a pun. I think it's just. I don't know. Well, we'll get to it in a second. So yeah, Bark is talking to Scrappy. Scrappy tries to quit anyway because she thinks Tiny and her family are too nice. Bark threatens to have Cano kill Lou, which is like kind of dark for a kids movie.
Yeah, Jesus.
I suppose there's always the option for Lou to pull out her sidearm and blast him, but considering she's one day away from retirement, I guess she's getting too old for this shit. Donuts. Okay, I'm out of cop puns now. So Scrappy will reluctantly follow the plan. We see some other dog has overheard all this, but I already forgot who this dog was, even though I'm pretty sure we just saw him. Tiny, PUP, and Disco Dog all arrive at the Hall of Fame. Thankfully, 80s disco human has to get back to Brooklyn because there is a disco club where it's 80s ladies night. Well, while that's a great turn of phrase, he has to go make sex at them because he's probably a pervert and a criminal. The gang rolls up on this other dog. They overheard the scheme and is seemingly important. He's like an old rocker or something, and apparently he and Disco Dog go way back. Dog puns in this scene, Wolfstock and Bon Jovi.
Nah.
Wolfstock.
It's good. Good stuff, Larry.
Tiny and PUP go in to see the two stars that Scrappy just performed with. Okay, so full disclosure, I only restarted my review from the day prior at the point where Scrappy was going out on stage to sing with the two country rock singers. One of them might have been Rebone McIntyre, whatever you said, whatever your stupid idiot joke was. And I don't remember why we're here, who those dogs are, or what half the plot was by the point I started finishing this review.
Well, I can't help you either, Larry.
I truly apologize because reading this just feels like fucking just rattling off nonsense. This is horrible. So anyway, Tiny and PUP and Disco Dog go in to see these two singers that Scrappy just performed with, and the chairs slowly rotate around to reveal that it's Bark and Cano in disguise, wearing the clothes of the singer dogs. Bark in particular is wearing a dress and a pink hat, and Cano is wearing a full denim jacket.
Oh my God.
Isaac, a very good movie.
Thank you. I'm glad
I think Bark might be the most handsome dog that's ever lived, and that is a tall order because I don't think there's a better dog on earth than mine, and he is a very handsome boy.
You like dogs too much.
He has not farted in this review once yet, so honestly, we're doing better than normal.
He's beaten me.
And me. So yeah, I don't remember who the fuck these two dogs are. Maybe they were integral to the plot. I don't care. But who that they're disguised as. But they're different breeds of dogs. They can't be in a disguise. They'd be like me disguising as an elephant at the zoo. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter how good my paper mache trunk is. You can't disguise as a different species.
Or just you showing up at like Madison Square Garden with a LeBron James jersey on and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here for warm up."
Exactly. So yeah, I don't. Then I remember Bugs Bunny dressed like Carmen Miranda and fooled a bunch of angry humans, and I guess it's just a kids movie thing, so you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Bart, Kano, and Roland have Pup and Tiny cornered and locked them up in a cage in the back of Roland's hearse. By the way, he drives a hearse. Don't know if I mentioned that or not, but that's kind of gross. Roland is about to drive them away. Disco Dog and Old Rocker Dog reveal they're also in the car and have stolen the keys. Nonsense. The heroes are free. Old Rocker, Disco Dog, Pup, and Tiny go to another dog who owns a boat. And let me just save you the trouble and just say they talk to a salty seaman dog, negotiate boat passage to get back to Chicago, which is the plot point in this movie. They negotiate passage on a boat. At Tiny's home, Scrappy is sad that she's a villain and singing a sad dog song. She has a confab with the family about nobody loving her if she doesn't win on Pup Star, but the family says they'll love her regardless. Blah, blah, emotionally touching scene here, but none of it matters and I want to die. On the boat, Tiny and Pup are kids' movie admitting they're falling in love without outright saying it because that would be too easy. And again, I continue to want to die. The day of the Pup Star finale has arrived. We see a bunch of famous dogs walking the red carpet, and there's a bunch of humans that are way too excited to be interviewing dogs. We see Bark and Kano in the audience in disguise once again. They mock Scrappy and remind her that she needs to take a dive. Also, fucking Tiny. So, Tiny has sang one song on Pup Star this season, and that song was not well received by the judges. But somehow, she's still the heavy favorite to win the final. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, okay? Yeah, she's the champ. Maybe she gets a bye round. Okay, sure. But even if we think this contest has 2 rounds before the finals, and Tiny has only competed in one poorly, how does literally every human and dog on the planet have complete confidence that she's going to win? Stupid.
It's almost like the fix is in for Tiny.
The announcer even says the competition has never been more fierce. Clearly fucking not, dickhead. Jesus. We get a little showcase with some dogs singing. It's the other contestants, I guess, but I don't really care. The only reason I bring it up is the lead lady dog singing is a greyhound, and I obviously love greyhounds, and you should adopt one if you want a dog, because all they want to do is sleep and love you with all their heart, and occasionally they fart while you're recording a podcast. We see Tiny and company on the boat. They're on a fucking boat now, listening to the performance on the radio as they speed towards the theater. The captions tell us that the song playing is called Barking at the Moon and is performed by Taylor Snift. Only the captions say this. Nobody says either of those facts out loud.
Oh, man, I would
Captioning
Taylor
done
Snift
by
between...
Don't, Isaac, just stop. Let me stop you there.
Between 2 slices of bread with some bologna and mayonnaise in it.
Oh, bologna?
I don't know, fine, her pussy, whatever.
Oh, can you get us... We cut to the show.
Consent? If she invited me for a sniff, I would partake.
Isaac, Taylor Snift is a dog.
Well, okay, no, I was thinking about the human.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. I don't really want to sniff dog pussy. I just want to get in, get out. God damn it.
We gotta redo this whole episode because it's bad. It's bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. We cut to the show and see that Taylor Snift is in fact that greyhound. Great. And the judges do say her name. Oops, I guess I forgot that part. We also see the next contestant is named Pup Rock, named after quite possibly my least favorite musician of all time.
Oh, God, if he gets into politics, I'm going to kill myself.
Isn't he not already? He's going to be a senator, right? Him and Cardi B.
I think he was talking about it, but if it happens...
Isaac, if he runs for Senate, he will be a senator. That's going to happen.
See, Matthew McConaughey in politics I can deal with.
Can you? I'm also unhappy about that. I don't mind Matthew McConaughey, but why? No, get out of here.
He sounds like a competent person when he speaks, and he's not Kid Rock.
Yeah, I mean, the country's pretty much already gone to hell, but now we're just digging deeper to find super hell. Scrappy is struggling with the moral consequences of cheating at a reality show. Apparently on her mother's deathbed, she told Scrappy that she ever cheated on a reality show. She had to eat a bar of chocolate and die a horrible, ignoble little dog death, and oh my God, this is getting dark. Fuck, why'd I write that?
Hey, suicide by chocolate, that's an upside of being a dog.
Yeah, yep. Anyway, Tiny and her pals bamboozle the security guard and sneak inside. Scrappy goes out to perform and defend her championship. She is still struggling with the moral consequences and comes out to stage, telling everybody she's actually Tiny, admitting that she was meant to throw the competition, blaming Bark for the dog napping. Kano off stage immediately grows a thumb, pulls out a gun, and shoots Officer Lou right in the head. The chief says Lou was a loose cannon cop and brought shame to the whole department. No, after Scrappy confesses, Bark comes out on stage calling Scrappy a liar. Suddenly, Tiny and her entourage roll up, and Bark, seeing these outnumbered, just leaves. Just leave. So in both movies so far, Bark has had a ridiculously complicated plan that gets to the literal last stage. At both times, somebody walks out on stage and says, hey, you're a villain. And the plan is over. That's it. That is it. At both times, it's happened. It's happened both times. Both times, it gets to the very end, and someone comes out on stage and says, hey, aren't you the villain? And he says, oh, fuck, and that's it. The plan's over.
Man, if only someone had done that with Trump, maybe we could have avoided the whole thing. Just someone just point blank says, hey, aren't you a villain? And he's like, oh shit, gotta go.
And just in my head, his fucking legs turn into the Scooby-Doo animation of the circles and he fucking
the
speeds
puff of air
left
at the podium after he runs off.
I'd like to do that to every politician because they're all villains.
God, seriously.
So yeah, Bark leaves. That's it. He dies off screen. He's thrown into a tank of water and is killed.
He gets rebranded as Bad Bone.
Yeah, you wish. Tiny tells Scrappy she found the box with her picture of her mother and says they're sisters. She then has Lou come onto stage and put their lockets together. And I don't remember.
Lou got killed.
Yeah, Lou was shot by a dog with a thumb.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember if they mentioned they both have a heart locket.
It's like one half of the same.
No, it's not that. It's not like half and half heart that gets snapped together. They do snap together back to front. It's like if you took a 3D.
That's how me and my wife snap together. If you know what I mean.
Yes, I do know what you mean. If you take a 3D Valentine's Day heart and cut it on the thin end, in the middle, not half and half, you cut it imagine a sandwich. Instead of cutting a sandwich in half to eat it like you normally would, you cut through the bologna. You cut through the bologna and take each half, one piece of bread and one piece of bologna and cheese each. That is how the hearts snap together. And I don't know why I obsessed over it, but it's the dumbest looking thing on planet Earth.
Picturing Kramer with the slicer, slicing meat as thin as possible, except he's slicing these dog lockets.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly that. The dogs realize they're sisters. The rest of the crowd and judges all comment as manager Shep is sobbing uncontrollably at the beauty of this, I suppose. Scraps apologizes to Tiny for being a villain. The human family all accept Scrappy as a member of the family, and everybody cheers. Tiny has to defend her title and asks if she and Scrappy can perform as a duo. Please remember this takes place in the Airbud universe, so we get a variation of the "there's nothing in the rules that says a dog can't play basketball" line here from Simon Growell. So the other contestants are just idiots for not asking other people to sing with them, apparently, because you can just do that. So dumb. Wrapping up here, Kano and Roland get the hell out of Dodge, abandoning Bark to his fate until they join him in dog prison in the next installment of this movie, because, in case you forgot, the next movie begins with Bark in dog prison, which is just a thing that exists. Tiny and Scrappy perform a pop/rap song of their mother's lullaby. Both of them have been singing. Their tails are wagging like crazy in this segment. Isaac, very good. Obviously, our heroines won the contest about the obvious nonsense, and both of them not deserving to win at all. But whatever, life and death are two sides of the same coin. Everybody celebrates, and I drift towards death in a chariot made of dogs. I apologize for the worst review I have ever done. That was trash. I'm sorry.
Larry,
I don't know why I struggled so hard with this. I tried twice, and it's trash. I'm so sorry.
You are too hard on yourself. Sweetie Pie?
No, this was a bad one. This is
a
weird wrap-up for Pup Star 2, because I need to explain a few things. Right off the bat, let's get it out of the way. All Pup Star movies are bad. They're all bad. Every one of them is a bad feature. They're junk, and I hate them.
Hey, well, the first one might knock your socks off, baby. You don't know.
Suck every dick in the world. Obviously,
I can't suck my own. We've been over this.
If I put you in a hydraulic press, you will.
Trust me, I tried enough when I was 12 on the floor of my grandparents' house.
Yes,
in the bathroom.
12, and you stopped at 12, I'm sure.
I did.
I mean, look, everybody tries.
I'm not more flexible than I was then.
Listen, there's a line in fucking Big Mouth where at one point they're talking about trying to suck your own dick, and I believe Andrew at one point goes, the yearly try, which I think about a lot.
That's a good line.
So obviously I have the same positives to say here as I did on the review of Pup Star 3. For kids 6 and under, it's fine. The dogs are, as always, adorable. I think the dog acting is less on display here than the last one, because in the last one they do more performances on Pup Star, and usually that's where they have the dog acting. They make them do little tricks and whatnot, but it's still fine here. It's still this is the fucking Ritz-Carlton of dog acting. We get more Bark outfit changes, which is frankly the best part of the whole franchise, hands down. Now, Isaac, you grumble on my thoughts on animals and clothes in movies because I like them too much.
Yes.
My counter is this. Yes, dogs and clothes are adorable. Yes, Bark looks like the cutest goddamn thing on planet Earth with his little leather jacket and his evil schemes. That said, it doesn't save this movie, okay? It's just a thing to latch onto. Like, you know how Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting? I really thought that Tipped Over Lighthouse was cool looking. It's a great visual. Right. Doesn't enhance the movie in any particular way. It's just the solace I take in a river of shit. So, dogs and clothes aren't going to affect my overall score. It's just the part I like the most, and it is a nice little boost. So, you always say, like, oh, I'm going to stop giving you dogs and clothes movies. I mean, yeah, you should stop doing that, please.
There's too many Pup Star movies.
Isaac, there's 2 more. And probably a 5th.
I know,
going to be a 5th.
Well, we're taking a break for another series.
Great.
The Sparkly series.
Oh, good. As far as the score goes, let me say as a baseline for the entire Pup Star series, every Pup Star movie is always going to be a 1 out of 10 from me. Because there's enough there, I don't hate enough to give a 0, like a Wayans or a Pauly Shore feature. But they will never rise above a 1 because of the sheer fact that it's a goddamn movie about a dog reality show. A dog reality show. I refuse to rate it higher than a 1.
Hey, that dog might be president one day.
The official rating of this movie for me is a 1. Bark in a wig makes it dangerously close to a 1.5, but I swore I'd never use a fraction. That said, if we compare it only within the Pup Star universe, if Pup Star 3 was a 1 in universe only, I would say Pup Star 2 is probably a 3. Because...
that much better?
Yeah, because it was technically, and I know, guys, truly, all joking aside, I know that review was a mess, okay? I know it. You probably can't keep up with anything that happened. But the story was more cohesive, and it was technically more interesting than Pup Star 3. Again, this is only within looking at the Pup Star universe. Nothing else. Technically, it was more interesting than Pup Star 3, because Pup Star 3 is all about the reality show itself, which... and the judges' families, like, you serious? Are you kidding me? This had a more, like, point A to point B feel that was less confusing. I know it sounded more confusing. I know they all sound confusing.
Yeah, it's a kind of plot that sounds hard to explain, but if you actually see it, it's like, oh, this computes. This
is more of a journey of, like, there's a villain who has, put off the hero from the first movie in a way that, like, she is... down for the count currently.
She gets Princess Switched.
She gets Princess Nintendo Switched even switchier, yes. So, like, the evil scheme was still ridiculous, but less ridiculous. I mean, I know it gets defeated in the same way, because of course it does. But, like, this one was a better movie than Pup Star 3. Even though they're giving them the same official rating, like, within their own universe, it's definitely... Pup Star 3 was a step down from this, for sure. And I feel like, now that I have a foot in the door of the universe and know what I'm here for, it was easier for me to get into it then, because it's like, okay, I know what I'm getting here. Like, I understand how this universe works. I wish I didn't, but I do.
You definitely do.
In the context of Pup Star movies only, this is a 3 compared to World, I keep wanting to say World Star Hip Hop. World Tour's rating of 1. My official rating for this movie, however, is a 1, and it will be the same for all future Pup Star movies. Hence, oh my god, this needs to be done. This was horrible. This was
two brief
horrible.
Things to touch back on. Did you know that Princess Switch was originally based on a 1950s movie called Princess Switch, where the princess just got beaten with a fucking stick?
I knew where that joke was going, but I'm still laughing.
And the other one, I've been sitting on this hearse joke for at least 15 minutes now, but I'm going to get a bumper sticker for my hearse. It says, if this hearse is a rockin', sit tight for 5 minutes and the procession to the cemetery will continue.
We're bad people.
And then it'll say in parentheses, okay, 90 seconds.
That is a long bumper sticker.
It's across the whole bumper. All caps.
Oh god.
Oh Jesus. So Larry,
this was bad. Just tell me my fucking Twilight movie and let's go move on our lives.
I had a lot of fun during this one.
I figured it out, okay? I figured your Twilight. Which one is the question?
Oh, well...
No more Pup Star. Fuck Pup Star. Fuck you. Fuck Robert Vince. Give me a break.
Like I like to do when I'm making love, we're going to start from the back end.
Oh, no. Oh,
we're going with...
Isaac, how's your wife?
She's upstairs listening and mortified, I'm
accusation.
sure.
Accusation. How is your fucking wife, Isaac? You don't deserve her, you garbage man. You fuck, man.
I told her to rob a bank because we need more money for pancake mix. She actually made
How
me a
about you
waffle
rob
this
a
morning.
Vince? What? She made you pancakes? What?
She made a waffle.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll have to mail you a waffle.
You don't deserve that waffle. You don't deserve.
No, I didn't.
You don't deserve that waffle.
So, Larry, we're going to sparkle your way into the back end of the Twilight saga with Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, for God's sake.
I kind of just want to tackle the whole series backwards.
Great. Oh. So, I do believe I mentioned this last time. I have seen the end of this movie. And it's horrible.
That was part of the reason that made this
I'm
one
pretty
win.
sure the I've heard a review of this movie a very, very, very long time ago from a YouTube creator I used to watch. And I believe the movie begins, not like the opening credits begins, but like the beginning of this movie starts with a getting ready to fuck montage, were the one thing I remember from that review. So
Interesting.
Maybe that's the other one. I don't know. So Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. In the epic series final chapter...
Epic series.
Bella and Edward's newborn daughter, spoiler, forces the couple into a life-altering confrontation with the Volturi? The fuck are the Volturi? I'm asking you.
Bad vampires or werewolves?
The fact that you have to say the words bad vampires just shows how wrong.
I want a vampire dog movie now.
I want to be dead.
Well, give it time.
I want to not release this episode and have someone better do it.
I think this is going to be one of the better ones. I mean, one of the sillier ones.
It's horrible. It's one of my worst.
Okay.
It truly is. I know I say that a lot, but this truly is horrible.
Episodes. I giggled a lot.
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Great. So I'm going to watch the entire series backwards, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, unless you want to give me some of them in the middle just to make it even more confusing. I've seen the first one and, like, bits of the second one.
I've seen bits. I know I've seen, like, 15 minutes in the middle of one of the middle ones. And I think I've seen part of the first one at some point. But
yeah. It's not good. They're entertainingly bad, though.
I do know that the stars, Robert Pattinson and whoever the woman star, I don't remember her name.
Kristen Stewart, thank you.
I know that they, like, mock these now as, I want to say adults, even though I think they're adults by the point of Breaking Dawn Part 2. But
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're, like, openly mocking how ridiculous this whole series is.
Yeah, and I know Robert Pattinson has actually gotten some acting chops. I haven't seen him and stuff, but I've heard people say, oh no, he's actually good when he's learned a lot, and when he puts his back into it, it's good. I'm not sure about Kristen Stewart, but...
I saw her in... It's like Snow White and the Huntsman, I think it's called, and she was horrible.
Okay.
Like, absolutely. That's the only... I have seen her in bits and pieces of Twilight, and that... I may have seen others, that's what I remember her from. And in fucking Snow White and the Huntsman, which is a shitty movie. Saw it in theaters for some reason, I don't remember why. But she was the lead. She was Snow White, I believe. And horrible, horrible, horrible actress.
Well, Robert Pattinson's good.
Yeah, okay.
Stupid truncate silence, getting rid of these pregnant pauses.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pregnant pauses in this episode because I just don't even know.
Seed.
Now would have been a good time to ask out your wife, but too late.
Not pregnant with my seed.
We've got to end this review. We've got to end it.
At the end of lovemaking session, I have to go out into the garage, get the shovel, dig a foot hole, and then finish in the hole.
Why a foot? Why a foot?
So it can't come back up.
And start doing the bits. I don't know them. Fuck.
Find us on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. Oh, my God. We love you so much. Thank you for listening. Send us an email, balsandnetflix@gmail.com. Tell us how much you enjoyed this episode.
Oh, God. That's impossible.
Oh, no, we need a secret code. If you've made it this far, the word is
Slapjaw.
Watermelon Sugar Low.
Watermelon Sugar Low. Okay. Are you just reading off a bottle in front of you?
I've been having a diabetic coma.
Oh.
My insulin is like 30. Email us in Watermelon Sugar Low, and we will mail you a prize. It might be a hot dog, or it could be a $500 Amazon gift card. There's only one way to find out. We'll just need a physical address.
Blood sample, your favorite elder god, and 2 hair.
Your grandmother's fingerprints and your security number.
I thought you were going to say fingernails. Thank God you said prints.
Well, not the clippings, the whole thing. You had to pull out all 10 of her fingernails.
All right.
Oh, God. Well, I think that's it. Next week we got Liam Neeson ice road trucking, fighting bad guys, kicking butt. That's gonna be fun.
I hope so. God, I need this.
Stay tuned. We love you. We will see you next week. God bless America.
Smell you later.